Hi guys, welcome. This is module 6 and we are gradually getting to the end of the theoretical aspect of this course and we'll be getting to the practical shortly. If you've not been following our classes from module 1, I'd like you to start this course from beginning so that you will not be confused when we get to the practical aspect of this course. So today I would like us to talk about cosmetic ingredient listing guidelines. So the guidelines for cosmetic labels. So in the end, you don't want to label your products wrongly. So it's very important for you to have this information so that you can do the right thing ultimately. So to protect consumers from unsafe or deceptively labeled or packaged products, governments and professional bodies have put in place guidelines. So these are just the major guidelines I put in place. For different countries, there are different guidelines. So you need to find out what rules apply to your country when it comes to cosmetic uh, label or cosmetic ingredient listing. And if you find out that your country does not have strict rules or does not have any rule concerning how to label a cosmetic product, it just makes sense that you follow like the FDA guidelines. Just you're a professional and you don't want your product to seem unprofessional. So the first thing on my list is you need to state the identity of the product. Nobody wants to buy a product without name or a product which whose name does not suggest what is contained by the product, right? So you need to properly identify your product so that consumers will not be confused when it comes to purchase. Also, you need to state net content of your product. So the net content of your product means, say you have a cup or a cup of scrub or body scrub, and let's say the content of the body scrub is the net weight. We are talking about the net content. So the content of the body scrub, whether it is 200 grams or 1000 grams or 50 grams, you need to properly state the content consumers should expect from the jar or from the bottle of cosmetics they bought. A very, very important aspect of this is ingredient declaration. You do not want to put out products and not say what the product is containing. I know sometimes some people like to would prefer not to say like the ingredients in their products, but you owe it to your clients, to your customers to properly list the ingredients containing in your product, because some people are allergic, right? And some people just don't like the smell of some ingredients. So it makes sense for them to have that information so they can decide whether to buy a different variant of that product or to buy from another brand completely, which is completely fine because not everybody is your customer, right? So for ingredient declaration on a product label, the ingredients are listed in order of predominance. So for example, if you uh, for a lotion label, for a bottle of lotion, for example, you'll be listing the ingredients in order of predominance, and usually water, distilled water is like the predominant ingredients in your body lotion. So it makes sense that you list distilled water first, followed by the next ingredient with the highest percentage, followed by the next, just like that. So you need to name your ingredients in order of predominance. NC INCI stands for International Nomenclature of Cosmetics Ingredients. It's a system of naming ingredients that involves the use of both Latin name of each ingredient and its common or trade name. So, for instance, if your product contains jojoba oil or jojoba oil as part of its ingredients, the standard way of writing jojoba oil is Simonsa chinensis so oil. So you need to properly name your ingredients. It's not enough for you to just um, state the trade name. It makes sense that you also state the Latin name of the ingredient. I mean, you want to give your customers all the information, right? You don't want someone to apply your products on their skin and then it turns out they're allergic and it becomes a whole thing. Trust me, you really don't want that. Also, you need to state any required warning on the label. So I know, like, you think that common sense implies that they should keep the product away from children, but guess what? You need to state that they should keep the product away from children. By not stating that, you can open yourself to a lawsuit if something happens, because customer can come and say, "Oh, you never said to keep the product away from children," and then you be in a whole lot of legal mess and a whole lot of trouble. Also, it makes sense to state all the little rules of storage, like store in a cool, dry place, and all of that. It makes sense to let customers have that information. So there's a lot of things that goes into cosmetic labeling. So when it gets to the time um, for you to create labels cosmetic uh, for your brand, it makes sense that you follow up the person in charge of the graphics and you kind of employ the services of a professional. I mean, some people are like experts at creating cosmetic ingredient labels, while some people are not. So you need someone that has the experience of creating good cosmetic labels so that they can provide adequate information to your clients. And also, you have to review the label before it gets printed and it goes out, right? But it saves you time if you get someone that understands cosmetic product labeling. I hope this class has been able to help. Has given you an idea on what you want your product label to look like or what you'd like to incorporate into your product label. I'll see you in the next module.